Have you ever looked at a company's stock price and just thought, what's really going on there? Well, today, we're going to peel back the layers and go way beyond the balance sheet to uncover the full story of how companies actually create value. Let's get right into it. So, let me ask you this. Is a company's success really just about profit? A single number on a spreadsheet? Or is there more to the story? I think you'll find the real answer is a whole lot more interesting. Think about it. Traditional financial reports are kind of like skipping to the last page of a novel. Sure, you get the ending, profit or loss, but you completely miss the plot. You have no idea how they got there, why they made certain choices, or what resources it took to pull it all off. So here's our game plan for this explainer. We're going to start by looking beyond the balance sheet. Then we'll dive right into what an integrated report is. We'll explore its guiding principles, its content elements, and then we'll see how it all comes together to tell a company's complete value creation story. Okay, first things first. To really, truly understand a company, we have to look past the spreadsheets. We need to see the bigger picture. And that right there is where the integrated report comes in. Now, this isn't just another boring document. No way. It's a totally new way for a company to tell its story and give you a complete, holistic view of the entire organization. At its heart, the integrated report is all about one thing, showing how a company creates value. And not just for today, but for the long haul. It's about the entire journey, not just some random snapshot in time. Okay, take a look at this. This diagram is basically the core of integrated reporting. You can think of it as the blueprint for how a company takes all its resources, what they call capitals, and uses its business model to create actual, real-world value. Don't worry, we'll definitely be coming back to this. Every good story needs rules, right? And the integrated report has 7 guiding principles to make sure the story it's telling is focused, useful, and above all, trustworthy. So let's break these down. First, it needs a strategic focus and a clear eye on the future. It absolutely must show the connectivity between all the different parts of the business. You need that holistic picture. It also has to consider its stakeholder relationships, with its customers, its employees, the community. Because let's be real, a happy team and loyal customers are crucial for long-term success. And finally, there's this big one, materiality. We'll get to that in a sec. And on top of all that, the story also has to be concise, no fluff, just what actually matters. It must be reliable and complete, which means they have to include all the important info, the good and the bad. And finally, it should be consistent from year to year so you can actually track their progress. Okay, so let's zoom in on materiality, because this concept is a game changer. It's all about focus. It means the company doesn't just drown you in data. Instead, it only reports on the issues that truly impact its ability to create value in the long run. It's the filter that separates what's important from all the noise. All right, so if the principles are the rules of storytelling, then the 9 content elements are the essential chapters. Every single integrated report needs these chapters to tell the complete story. Let's see what they are. The first part of the story, our first chapter, basically answers a really fundamental question. Who is this organization, and what kind of world are they operating in? And to answer that, the report covers 3 key elements. First, the organizational overview sets the scene. What's their mission? Who's their competition? Then, governance explains the leadership, who's in charge, how decisions get made. And the business model, well, that's the engine. That's how they actually make it all happen. Next up, Chapter 2. Every good story has some conflict, a plan of attack. This chapter is all about the forces, both inside and out, that are shaping the company's journey. This is where we get into the real meat of the plot. The report has to outline the specific risks and opportunities that could mess with their ability to create value. And then it lays out the strategy and resource allocation. Basically, here's where we want to go, and here's how we're going to use what we have to get there. For any investor, this part is absolutely critical. It shows if they have a real plan. And finally, for our last chapter, the story needs a resolution and a look ahead, right? This is where the report ties past results to future ambitions. So performance is all about the results. How did the company actually do against its goals, using both numbers and narrative? The outlook peeks into the future, at potential challenges and opportunities on the horizon. And the basis of preparation, okay, this part explains how the company decided what was important enough to even include in the report in the first place. All right, we've covered the rules and we've covered the chapters. Now let's see how they all come together to create one cohesive, powerful narrative. And we're back to our story map, that value creation process. Now we can finally see how all those chapters, the content elements we just talked about, fit into this bigger picture. See? Governance, strategy, risks and opportunities, performance. They're not just isolated sections in a report. They are the moving, dynamic, interconnected gears of this engine, constantly interacting with the business model and the outside world to create value over time. And this is the real magic. The integrated report goes beyond just isolated data points to show you the living connections between a company's strategy, its performance, and its outlook. It tells the whole story of how a company turns its potential into actual value. So I'll just leave you with this thought. The next time you want to understand what a company is truly worth, is a simple balance sheet really going to be enough? Or are you going to ask for the integrated report, the whole story of how value is really created?